So with the recent announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, I've really gotten hyped for the game given the circumstances of the games that are going to be coming out this year. I mean, Infinite Warfare is really looking like a huge bust. So as a result, chances are that I'm going to be buying Sun and Moon instead and playing through that and experiencing my childhood again as I sit and cry in the corner because COD is not going to be too good. In accordance to this rare occasion, it's also been about like a year and a half since we've uploaded our last Pokemon video, and the last time we did, it was also a top 5. And the last time we did, it got like over 600 views. So maybe we should try that again. So today we're going to discuss the top 5 animals / creatures that should become Pokemon in Sun and Moon. Of course, in my opinion. And before we dive into this, be sure you leave a quick like on this video. Done? Alright, let's go. So at number 5, we have the mythical creature, the Griffin. No, not Peter Griffin, you guys. Anyway, the Griffin is probably one of the more interesting animals we could possibly get in Sun and Moon, mainly because it would have to be a dual type. No matter what you do, it has to be a dual type. As you guys can see on screen, most of the time, if not all the time, Griffins are depicted to have wings. So therefore, it will have to be a flying type at the very least. I think fire type as a secondary would be super fitting, mainly because Griffins are known to have like more of a golden color scheme, and for me, like if you have like a golden complexity, like think Ho-Oh, you pretty much are a fire type in some cases. Not to mention that a fire-breathing flying Griffin would really fit the bill in my opinion. It just seems to go well. The typing is a little bit more tricky to talk about as I'm not some typing master, and I know that, you know, certain types would go better with others, and there's weaknesses and stuff like that that have to be factored into the entire equation. But on the other hand of the spectrum, we have design, and honestly, I think that Game Freak literally has one of the biggest openings for design when it comes to a Griffin. Most of you guys, you know, based on the pictures that you've seen on screen, can see that Griffins are more commonly known to be four-legged. Like, they're always supposed to be on all fours. But Griffins can also be known to be upright, kind of like a humanoid bird motherfucker thing. And I think that if Game Freak wants to do something really special, they can, because, you know, there's certain Pokemon that have different forms, like Shaman. Shaman is more commonly seen as a hedgehog type creature, but then when you give it this weird ass flower, it becomes this badass hedgehog, kind of like Sonic. So what if in Pokemon Sun and Moon, there was a way to make the Griffin go on all fours and then go on 2 legs and be able to fly like that, and maybe shed the fire type, put on some boxing gloves, and be a flying fighting type? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing to experience? All I know is that if there is a Griffin-type Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I do catch it, I'm going to name it Peter. Because Peter Griffin. So number 4 is an interesting idea for a Pokemon, without a doubt. There's no questioning it. I'm sure that a lot of people have been thinking about it coming to the games for a long time. If you guessed it, then I owe you a cookie. It's the Pegasus. This Pokemon could literally be quite spectacular if done correctly. I mean, being a horseback rider in real life is cool already, but how about a horse with fucking wings? I mean, just screw cowboys at that point. Like, cowboys have no place in this world if I'm flying on a horse. I think a Pegasus-type Pokemon would definitely be also a dual typing, mainly because, again, Pegasaurus are known to have wings as well, like the Griffin, so it would have to be at least a flying type with a secondary typing. I think the most obvious dual typing for a Pegasus Pokemon would be flying and fairy, mainly because, you know, most of the time we associate Pegasuses or Pegi, whatever, with like fairy tale stories and stuff like that, and I mean, for God's sakes, a fairy tale story has fairy in the name, so why wouldn't it be a fairy type? I don't know about you, but I think seeing a Pegasus perform a Moonblast on some unsuspecting dragon type just might make my day. As obvious as it being a fairy type with the flying type would be, I think it's also fairly possible that it could be a psychic or water type, all while retaining the flying type. It's an interesting Pokemon that they could work with. Unfortunately, unlike the Griffin, I don't think there is a super duper diverse amount of ways that Game Freak can really design this particular Pokemon, mainly because it's not really a Pegasus if it's not on all fours, because it's a horse. The design of this creature really does depend on the typings they do give it. One thing I can definitely see happening though is that the Pegasus Pokemon will be specific to Moon, and the Griffin will be specific to Sun. So if you want both of these winged bad boys, you better save your frickin' money. Onward to the 3rd selection, my friends, and we have the Tiger. And to all of you guys that are thinking, the fuck is an Arcanine then? No, Arcanine is not considered a tiger. In the anime and in multiple different scenarios, Arcanine and Growlithe are considered to be dogs. And then I bet there are the group of people that are going to ask about the legendary beasts. They are also dogs. To this date, there has been no tiger Pokemon, and I am not down to wait for a region in India or something like that to get them. Hawaii just seems like it would fit, even though tigers don't necessarily live there. Another reason as to why getting a tiger Pokemon would be nice is because in Kalos, or Generation 6, we got the lion Pokemon, Pyroar. So why not get its essential little brother? Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about a possible typing for what a tiger Pokemon would be. Now obviously, I think the first and most obvious answer would be pure fire. Considering the amount of soul fire type Pokemon we already have that resemble tigers, our canine, it would be pretty boring if we were to get another fire type four-legged animal. But nonetheless, it is a possible typing by all means. Game Freak has the ability to take it to the next level though. They can make it a fire/grass type, which would be a really original idea. And I was also thinking something like normal fire, but that'd be a bit odd. It would kind of be like a weird Arcanine and Persian mix. The only other typing that would really come into my head besides grass fire or normal fire, or just pure fire in general, would be dark fire. Damn it, Houndoom, get out of here. I think we could all go without another dark fire type. Houndoom just takes care of that too well. Especially considering that it has a Mega Evolution and it's just... It's the king of that typing, it really is. Typing is as important as ever for this type of Pokemon, but I think Game Freak literally has oceans of space with the Tiger Pokemon when it comes to design.
Whoa. Wait, how'd I end up in a Nova Project video? What's up guys, it's VenomStar, and I guess I'll just continue where Phoenix left off. So with the fact that a tiger-like Pokemon would work well with the atmosphere of Sun and Moon, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Litten could possibly end up being a tiger, or better yet, some sort of prehistoric cat like the Sabertooth. Yet this is a little less likely because Raikou already somewhat fills that role. But on the other hand, I think Litten definitely has the potential to become closer to a Bengal tiger than anything. Honestly, a Bengal tiger Pokemon is 100% something they should bring to the Pokemon series. Because of its majestic look, it would be an amazing new Pokemon to have as a final evolution starter. Next up in the number 2 slot is everyone's favorite Jurassic monster, the Velociraptor. In my opinion, this creature would make an amazing fossil. It really has so much potential as a Pokemon, and it could even be similar to Vivillon, with multiple different patterns and color combinations that you can find throughout the region. They could even add a feature where you find one with a different pattern on each island, as if that specific type of Velociraptor is native to that area. I mean, just imagine being like Chris Pratt and riding your Velociraptor through the streets of Alola, just destroying everything in your path. While that probably won't happen, I'd like to think that something of that measure could be implemented into Sun and Moon. So with the type, the most realistic typing would most likely be Dragon and Rock, given that it ends up being a fossil. But if they wanted to go a little outside the box and break away from the typing that Tyranium also shares, they could go with Rock and Fire, Poison, Steel, and really anything that they can make work with a style of a Velociraptor. If they just add this creature as a Pokemon into the game, whether it's good or bad, people would be all over it. And coming in at number 1 is the Circus Con of the Sea, the Dolphin. Dolphins are probably some of the most popular sea creatures, so it's a surprise that they haven't been made into a Pokemon. If Game Freak was ever planning on adding one, now is as good a time as ever. Now what does everyone do if they go to Hawaii? Hike? No. Look at volcanoes? Nah. Surf? Maybe. Swim around with a squad of dolphins? Of course. Who doesn't swim with dolphins if they go to Hawaii? It's like hanging out with a bunch of chill, oversized goldfish in the ocean. Except for the fact that they're not fish, and they're also not gold, but that's besides the point. There could be so many possibilities with a dolphin Pokemon. It's basically a canvas waiting to be painted on. As far as typing goes, it could be water normal, water and fairy, or even water and psychic. It could look like a regular dolphin as a water and normal type, or it could be some super dolphin as a water and psychic. And that also goes along with the fact that dolphins are extremely intelligent, so psychic would be a great secondary typing.